Hey, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to change the oil in my 2024 Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally. After only having the bike for about a week, I had hit the 600 mile mark, which meant it was time for an oil change. I personally like to change my own oil, as the appearance of the oil is a good indicator of the health of the engine. Before I start, I make sure to have the following tools and parts: 4 and 6mm Allen wrencher sockets, a new oil filter, crush washer, and 15 W50 oil. Ducati recommends the Shell brand oil, however you can use any brand you prefer if the oil meets the same standards. First, I had to remove the skid plate, which has 4 bolts securing it. The 2 rear bottom bolts are 6mm and the top 2 front bolts are 4mm Allen head bolts. The next time I do this, I will make sure that I have a 4mm Allen head socket. It was really a pain getting to those bolts with the Allen key. Once the skid plate was off, I had easy access to the drain bolt and the oil filter cover. Using a 14mm socket, I removed the drain bolt and allowed the oil to drain. The drain bolt has a magnet to hold onto any metal flakes, so I evaluated that to see if there is anything of concern. While the oil is draining, I work on removal of the oil filter cover. There are 3 8mm bolts. Once the bolts are removed, the fun part begins. The cover holes themselves have threads, so I had to thread a bolt in to force the cover loose. It just so happens that the bolts from the back of the skid plate are the same size needed. I did this in a rotational pattern to slowly back the plate out a little at a time. If I was to force one bolt all the way in, I would break the cover. Next time, however, I will buy longer bolts because the skid plate bolts bottom out just shy of the filter cover plate coming completely loose. Once I got the plate off, I evaluate the filter, looking for any large metal flakes or chunks. There was a good amount of very small metal filings, which is normal. This is why the oil is changed at 600 miles. I then cleaned out the drain bolt and magnet, replaced the crush washer, and installed the drain plug. The torque value per Ducati is 14 Nm. I then installed the new oil filter and installed the cover. I was careful not to pinch the O-ring on the cover during installation. I pushed the cover in place and installed the cover bolts. In a rotating pattern, I slowly tightened the cover so that it went in fairly straight, while watching to make sure that the O-ring wasn't coming out of its groove. Torqued the oil filter cover retaining screws to 10 Nm. I then added oil to the engine, slightly above the fill line. I then start the engine, allowing it to only idle until the oil drops, indicating the full system is primed. I then turn the engine off and add oil until it is between the fill marks. I checked for leaks and then installed the skid plate. Took the bike out for a short ride around the block, double checked the oil level, and that was all set for an adventure plan for the next day. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up to support the channel.